Hello and happy Sunday morning. Hope you guys are doing well. I am back with another episode of the Film Rewind series for 2025. When last we left off, I had looked at films from 2015 that were turning 10 years old. I looked at 5 films from that year that really stood out to me. Well, this week we begin a journey through 2010. That's right, we're jumping back 5 more years. Over the next 5 weeks, I will be looking at 5 more films from the year 2010 that really stood out to me that are now celebrating their 15th anniversary. I know as we go further back, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to imagine how many years have passed since these films. Well, today I'm kicking it off with an animated classic, and that is How to Train Your Dragon. That's right, the original How to Train Your Dragon animated feature film from DreamWorks came out in 2010. That introduced us to Hiccup, the teenage Viking who was looking for maybe a purpose and a plan, and Toothless, the night fury that he finds and befriends. It was an endearing film, one that really captured people's imagination. It led to a franchise. These films were based on a short story and had a different kind of a life prior to getting acquired by DreamWorks, who turned them into feature films. The first one, as I mentioned, launching in 2010. We got a follow up in 2014 and then again in 2019. And now it is kind of ironic that we're talking about the 15th anniversary of the original film this year, because this summer, in fact, June 13th, we are getting the live action remake that returns some of the same voice cast, including Gerard Butler as the Viking chief. But I really liked the animated style here. I think you can't help but fall in love with the way Toothless looks, and that friendship between Toothless and Hiccup, the kind of cool Viking world they create here. I wasn't familiar with the books before going into the movie, but I was really taken with the original movie. I have seen all 3 of them in theaters, but the one that really kickstarted it all, How to Train Your Dragon, turning 15 years old this year. If you've never seen it, now is a great time to dive in and see some of those animated films before they are rebirthed on the screen this summer. Great ones you can share with your kids. They're kind of an underrated wave of animation from DreamWorks. They gave us Shrek in the early 2000s, but right about this time, they came up with the Kung Fu Panda series, which is still alive and kicking, and How to Train Your Dragon, which spawned 3 animated films, now getting a live action remake. So that is the first of my 2010 rewind films, How to Train Your Dragon. I will be back next week with another selection turning 15 years old.